conducting high-rise firefighting training, we're giving the crews scenarios on high-rise firefighting. So we're telling them there's fires or possible fires on certain floors. We're running them, doing dry runs, running them through what they need to do in these situations. Over the last 2 months, we've gone over high-rise firefighting, the building construction of high-rises, different tactics for the engine companies, the rescue company, the ladder companies, also standpipe operations. So this is really accumulating up to doing the dry runs in these buildings, the actual buildings that we could be responding to, getting our personnel into them to see what kind of challenges we might face with a fire in one of these buildings. We're going to use this type of training in any building that's over 4 stories. So some of the buildings we've been looking at are the Roosevelt 1 and Roosevelt 2, Lee Manor, the Hampton Inn, the Holiday Inn, Courtyard Inn and Suites, the Masonic building downtown. But buildings like that are over 4 stories, and they vary in building construction style and the classification of building construction. So each building poses different challenges if there is a fire. It's different than fighting a single-family house fire or multi-family house fire. It's a lot larger buildings, so the fire behaves differently. So we're teaching them to recognize different aspects of the fire behavior in these buildings, especially when we get the buildings that are multi-story buildings with, like today, just a little bit of wind can change the fire behavior dynamics inside of this building if one of the windows would fail. So we're teaching them that. We're teaching them a lot of better communications on the radio. At a house fire or a multifamily fire, usually there's a lot of face-to-face communications. Well, in these buildings, they're larger buildings. The crews are going to be working inside, farther away from where they'd be able to communicate face-to-face. So we've been working on clear, concise, and calm communications over the radio so we can get the resources and be able to identify when you will need additional resources and how much resources it will take if there is a fire in one of these high-rise buildings. Fighting the fire here, this is what we would classify as a Type 1 construction. Down there, they're also Type 1, so they're kind of the same. One of the big differences is kind of the stairwells. The stairwells are a lot larger in those hotels, so it's easier for our crews to deploy their hose lines where they have more room versus the stairwells in some of the older buildings, which are a lot smaller, and you're in a lot tighter quarters to get those hose lines deployed. Building characteristics with those buildings, they're kind of the same. Both buildings are sprinklered, and they have what we call standpipes. So hooking up to a standpipe is a little bit different. We're not pulling the hose directly off of the fire apparatus and not attached to it. We're actually hooking up to a pipe in the stairwell or just right outside the stairwell, and either there's a fire pump or the fire apparatus is pumping into the building to give us our water. If we have an emergency such as an automatic alarm or an actual fire at one of these high-rise facilities, follow the emergency evacuation plans that are established for these buildings. If there's an intercom system or the firefighters come down your hallway giving instructions, or the police department gives you instructions, follow those instructions. If we ask you to evacuate, please evacuate. If we ask you what we call shelter in place, stay where you're at that time. Follow those instructions. We're doing that for the citizens' safety, so we can get in there and make this problem, whatever the incident is, better. Okay, fire on the 6th floor.
6th floor.
2 apartments in.
2 apartments.
From the south stairwell. It's on the east side of the building. You have smoke showing from the east side of the building. No fire. Window still appears to be intact. The one down there, you've got 3 elevator keys. All your additional keys in here also. And you got your elevator key. So one goes with the crew inside the elevator. The other one, we've got to control both elevator banks. One will stay down here.
so we can recall it back. You can send it back down, we can recall it and hold it.
And then we won't go to 4. We won't go to, we're going 2 floors to
Yeah.
4.
And if you need to stop it, it's got a nice little red stop. Or if you want to, you hit 4 and all of a sudden they tell you, oh no, the fire's on 4, you can hit call cancel.
And now, we leave that on, it will stay on.
Yeah.
See, it's just gonna hold it.
Let's do this. It's gonna hold that right there. There. So you're getting off the 2 floors below. So that would give you the tactics of you knowing, okay, the door is open, so we're gonna have heat going down.
Right.
I'm probably gonna need another line, so you can call for engine 4. That'll send you 2 more people up immediately.
Sure.
You get another line. You can send the rescue to do, thinking about, okay, we're gonna have this door open, because
Right.
initially we're gonna have this door open to advance easy.
Right.
So we're gonna introduce all this stuff in here
Right.
into this our attack stairwell. So we want to get somebody above here, the rescue, up there to make sure these doors aren't getting open, make sure no one's in that stairwell.
We're trying to send them, if somebody comes
Yeah.
out, send them to the other end.
Send them to the other end. You can maybe drop one guy off to maybe start helping them if it's a problem, get them out of the way. But dropping 2 off, it's just going to decrease how fast you're going to be able to get down there to that fire apartment and knock everything down. But so you guys can go ahead. You know it's two floors down. Say we go up to the floor above. Andrew's gonna go up to the floor above. He's gonna take a peek down that hallway, see if we have any smoke or anything in that hallway. Most likely we'll have a little haze, but in a type 1, type 2 building, we shouldn't have any fire spread. The window's still intact. So we don't really have to worry about that. But what you can do on the floor above is, okay, real quick, you guys are hooking up.
Go to the apartment right above.
Yeah, walk it out from this door right here. And about every stride
Strides 3 feet.
about 3 foot, estimate it down to that door. Okay, I know I need 40 feet to that door. Okay, so I need a 50-foot section. I lose 50 feet in the stairwell. I need 150 feet of line to make it be able to get into that hallway. So if you guys want to stretch that line, and I'll show you why we go past and some reasons that we would.
We're doing training on this. They locked it out. Yeah, I want to let you know.
Can I put a mic?
Having that on the ground and to the wall, but right here when we're doing hosing and getting everybody up here, there's a good chance we could kick that shut. And you can shoulder it all the way, and just let it fall off the top if you want. But really, one guy just needs to kick it to the. That's why you lose that 50. Kick it to that inside, because you're going to see it's going to have a habit of pulling it this way. We want to keep it to this outdoor. Yeah, we'll feed out, and it'll help keep it when we feed up. Keep it to the latch side of the door, so the door we can have good door swing. Sorry. And you can already go ahead and start looping it. I wouldn't go more than one landing up, but once we start advancing that hose down the hallway, you'll still have your engineer down there kind of watching those flakes like we did at the tower. One person controlling the door here and controlling that, and then 2 advancing down. And when we're advancing down, moderate heat, yeah, we're going to stay low. If we got just a haze, we're going to stand up a little bit more. But if we're coming this door, what we do is we pull past as much as we can pull past until they say we're going to be almost out. That's probably good right there. Yeah, because we want to keep it on that outside still, and that lets you come back here and get on this hinge side. So yeah, so when we're forcing these, because this is a Type 1 building, if we have to force these doors, we know it's going to be hot in there. If the window's still intact, everything's going to come out here to the hallway. So we have to, this guy or girl on the hose has to protect the guys forcing the door. So if I have two people forcing the door, I'm going to want to be on this hose. I might even have that nozzle cracked a little bit, flowing water. So once that door pops open, I can open the nozzle all the way and start flowing water in there, because everything's going to want to come out this way towards the hallway. And if we can get it cooled and knocked down as quickly as possible, then it reduces that amount of heat, because our main problem in this building is going to be the smoke spread throughout the building. And most of these, they're loose enough. You can get that in there, or you can baseball swing, or even a sledgehammer, a 10-pound sledge, right into, right in between that locking mechanism, or right below it, or above it, and it's gonna come open. But we just want to. So if you guys were forcing it, I would just position myself. I'd position myself with this hose line. If you and him were forcing that, I'd position back here, and I might, especially if it's.
No, that's so nice.
Especially if it's red, if this door's hot, I'm gonna go ahead and have this cracked. So when he gets that door open, I'm gonna open up and start banking it off, because he's gonna be standing up most likely, or he could be kneeling down, and the guy and whoever's striking could be standing up. That's one thing we have to watch out. Especially forcing this door inward swinging, we want to stay on this hinge side, so the door is going to protect the forcible entry guy crew too, and this will protect them also.
Will it also keep it open on it? I mean, the line will be inside the door anyway.
Yeah, and it helps too, because if we stayed over on that side, we're going to be pulling up and wrapping. Now I can wrap myself around and pull in, and it's going to feed in more. And then if I didn't pull past, now I'm having to drag and pull that line in there. It allows you to get in. This much hose will get us into these apartments and be able to cover anything. One thing, like I said, with the smoke, we get the smoke in here. Okay, so we're using the south stairwell as our fire attack stairwell. We open this up, all the smoke comes in here. It's going to stay in this hallway. Well, we have the fire attack stairwell, we're already using it. It's already a contaminated stairwell because of all the smoke and the heat that's going to go in there. We can open the roof hatch up to it. We can go ahead, we've pressurized that stairwell down there for our escape stairwell, our evacuation stairwell. We can take a electric smoke ejector off of one of the ladder trucks, one of the smoke ejectors. It's not designed to push a lot of air, but it will push air. It can help direct the smoke flow down to this attack stairwell. Will be more apt to get in that stairwell and rise up. But that's.
So who's going to come and put that fan?
You can
The person that's in there.
you can have. So you get four on a working fire. You got a good work. You have 4 engines here. So engine 5 is going to be up here. They're going to be the first crew. Engine 4 is probably going to be up here with you also. Rescue 1 is going to be in that stairwell. Engine 1, you might split them up, say, hey, I need 2 more people up here and 2 people to start ventilation. And then you'll have engine 3 also to use, and you'll have command. This is your floor. So today,
I'm not going to be on the hose. I'm going to be directly.
yeah, so because this is your floor. So once you get enough people, initially you will be on the hose. Right. You're the company officer. Yeah, you're in charge of the floor. Once you get 2, 3 companies up here, this is your floor. You're going to, you have control, everybody where to go, what to do. Now, if we start involving multiple floors, maybe we'll put, just maybe, you've all heard divisions and groups, this might become Division 6. This is your floor, Division 6, your floor. We got Division 7 right above us, that's their floor, and they're handling that. It's just easy for span of control for us to be able to say, okay, we got these many engines in here. But really, the command, this is your house. This is your house fire. You're in charge of it. You tell us what you need. We'll tell you what we see outside as conditions, and you'll tell us what we have conditions in here to make sure everything's adding up and we don't have hidden fire, which we shouldn't have in a building like this. But ventilation is going to be the big thing, because we're going to have, especially in this building, we got a lot of elderly. They're going to want to come out into the hallways with the medical conditions they could possibly have. It's just going to exacerbate them. If we're advancing down and we got people coming out, say they come out of this apartment, you need to get back in your apartment, stay in your apartment. That's where it becomes important. You tell them, making sure there's ladder 5 or ladder 1 on the PA in a calm voice. Yes, we have a fire on this floor. We're asking all residents to stay in their apartments, to shelter in place. We will come get you out of your apartments when it is safe to come out. Right now, it's not safe to come out. Stay in your apartments. And they might have to get on there multiple times to calm those people down in there. That's one of the other ones, because the rescue will go up there, they'll go up that stairwell, and then they're going to start working their way down because of that stratification. Really, the last thing they're going to check will be the floor right above. We shouldn't really have any fire smoke spray, but once maybe we get engine 3 here, you can deploy them. Hey, I need you to go to floor 7 and take care of all the investigation and search up there. One of the things we can do, say if we had 150 foot on here, or this was 200 foot, to make it a lot easier to estimate, is just drag, like it's shown in that class when I do my nice pictures, drag that first coupling and put it right in the middle right here. Because this right here, even when we go in, it's not going to want to kink. Couplings right there, they don't want to kink on themselves, unlike when we make if we make a small U, if we make a big U and then put a coupling right there, it's going to reduce the chance of that line doing any kinking, especially when we start running smooth bores with lower pressure but more gallonage coming out. So this is a wet, everybody knows this is a wet system, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if we turn this on now, we're getting a lot of
Hey, the
water.
action behind
So if you stick your fingers in there, you'll feel the threads to that valve. If you feel between this opening right here and the threads, if you feel a bars in there, yeah, that's that internal pressure reducing device. We got to pull that out because it's gonna limit how much pressure we get.
It'll come straight out?
Huh?
Just pop it out?
Yeah, you'll have to take a spanner and pry it out. This building does not have them, so we're good on this building. We haven't found any buildings that have any external ones or internal ones. Doesn't mean that a building won't put them in sometime.
So it is a new thing, it's not an old
No,
thing?
it's an old thing. You see them in a lot higher buildings. A lot of times you see them in buildings that are over 20 stories because their fire pumps are pumping a lot harder and they don't want to and some of those buildings have fire pumps every so many floors on there.